right? You found something that you like, and you found something that you feel like lines up with you. And I'll start out by saying this right now. Really take a hard look. I mean, if I could spend it, the most valuable thing that I can do right here is to get you to a point where when you go home, when you go back to wherever you're going, or tonight or tomorrow, when you ride home, whenever it is to make a decision. And to really make a decision. And I think that people take that too lightly in life and about this business. And because what happens is this kind of floats along, and it's fun, you know, you like the associations, you develop relationships, you can make a little bit of money, you get in shape, you get a little bit more self-confidence. You know, I mean, all of those pieces are great pieces. And then it gets to this point where this moment of truth where you look at it and say, this thing could be very real in significantly changing my life. Okay, and it's great if you just want to be a hobbyist in it. No, seriously, no, you're kind of shaking your head this way, and I would say, but the piece is, no, and I'm not condemning that. I'm just saying, if the decision is, I want this to be a hobby, okay, because I've got other things, I value other things greater. There's other priorities in my life. Then make that decision and have it be that. But don't expect more significant results from a hobby business, okay? Alignment is so important, you know, from your goals and your activities and expectations, because if you set, it's so simple, really. It's like life. You know, if you set your goals up here, but your activities are down here, they're never going to meet. So one of two things has to change. Either you've got to lower your goals, okay, so that they come in alignment with what your activities are, or you've got to raise your activity level, the right activity levels, so that those meet. And part of the business is figuring out what those are, okay, and really what your goals are, and then how to get there over time. But make a decision as to what you want from this business. And if it's a hobby, then that's fantastic. But if it's more, then make that decision and understand really what that looks like and the effort that it will take over time to get there. And what it'll take to push you, you know, to get there. And it gets to the point where it's, you know, at first it's kind of like learning the tricks of the trade a little bit, and then there comes a point where you have to learn the trade, okay? The tricks of the trade are kind of the things that the hobbyist would do, you know, and you can kind of do this, and then over time, you have to really, really learn what the business is about and learn what those skill sets are and develop those. And the reality is you also have to be patient with yourself from the standpoint of giving yourself a runway. And the challenge is that we compare ourselves to the people that have, you know, done this in X amount of time. You know, they're superstar 29, you know, type of deal, and they did it in 6 weeks, you know, kind of a deal. You know, well, that's so it's great that people have broken the sound barrier like that, but most people are like this, and the consistencies, you know, like that. And to develop a business that's going to drive and provide something that's what if it was $50,000? Okay, most of you would do cartwheels naked in the street for $50,000 a year. I mean, just, you know, just kind of a no, you know, you do it at midnight or something. but that's kind of, but you would, or $100,000 a year, you know. And so what if that took you 2 years to develop the skill sets to get there? Would it be worth it? And I think the answer, if I gave everyone the promise right now and said to you, you can make a 6-figure income and you can be making that in 2 years, would you take that deal? And I think everybody here would probably say, yeah, you know, I'm in. So, but I've learned in watching the successful coaches that what that always starts with is the decision of sitting on the bed, looking in the mirror, creating that moment, and asking yourself very, very clearly, what do I want? Okay? Do I really want this? And then there's the piece, obviously, is many of you are married, probably most of you are, are married, is bringing those that you love into that vision and into that mission so that it aligns, because you can't do this on your own. Okay, that's a tough, that's just a tough road to hoe, type of a thing. And particularly if you're going to make this more than a hobby, there will be conflict that arises because of that. Okay, and there'll be just, when I say conflict, there'll be challenges with that. And so the best advice I can give is you keep communication high, you keep your vision high, you find ways that you're co-visioning and co-missioning, if that makes sense, so that as you're going and you realize what the price you're paying is going to be and what he or she is paying on this, that they're that you're both kind of sharing that that vision as you move down the road, because otherwise you're gonna get to this place where it's gonna get where it's gonna get really, really hard. But then after you make that decision, okay, and I found that making the decision is the hardest thing for most people, because decisions present dilemmas. It's kind of the horns, where the horns of the dilemma. It's like, okay, if I make this decision, then that means I'm going to have to behave in a certain way. If I don't make that decision, then that means I have to accept where I'm at, in my life. Okay, but each one is going to require action, or there's consequences of each one of those. Then there's the big gap in between, which is kind of never land where most people live, and live in kind of mediocrity and live in just kind of complacency of kind of like things don't change too much. And again, I don't criticize that, because a lot of people are very happy being happy, right there. I have a daughter who's a coach. Okay, I have two daughters who's a coach. One's, I have 6 daughters. Okay, and a boy. Wait, there's more. And then one's a coach, and and you know what? I keep going, Danny, you're my great hope. Come on, make me look good. But honestly, and she has 3 kids. She's pregnant with number 4, turning into a real family. Okay, but she's not been able to crack the code, really. And she's one of those. She's a girl that she's cute as a bug's ear. She's athletic, type of a thing. Has a great personality. Has all of the makings of what you would look at and go, she could be really like pretty great coach. I mean, I could see Danny being top coach type of a deal. And you'd look at it and go, yeah. But the thing that she lacks right now is just kind of that fire, because she's kind of happy. She's just kind of happy where she is and raising a family, and I kind of have to sit back and go, that's okay, right now. But then once you make the decision, let me just get to that. I think the real key is then you've got to act. Okay, and one of my favorite phrases, you'll hear me say it all the time, I'm a broken record, is sometimes you just have to jump and build your wings on the way down. Okay? Sometimes and maybe I should say it a better way, sometimes you have to jump and build your wings on the way up. Okay? Is maybe a more positive way, to say that. And if you think about every principle of life, okay, of how life works, there's a time where you do have to build your own wings, where you've got to grow, you've got to learn, and you know that you're going to fail in order to do that. And you've got to kind of let go to do that. And so my challenge to you would be, is you're here, is to take a look at yourself and say, have I really made the decision? Okay? Have I really made the decision? And what is that decision? Is it really clear in my mind? Okay? And then have you reverse engineered what that looks like. So Elizabeth Hartke on the Super Saturday video, I thought gave a great model of taking a goal and giving some ideas about how you reverse engineer what that looks like. And your elite, yeah, these goal guides, really are designed to kind of help you along the way and to create accountability and to create benchmarks. So, you know, kind of it's your GPS in a lot of ways to know, you know, am I on track? You know, aren't I on track? But it then comes down to understanding what it's going to take. And then I think you have to ask yourself again, after you see what it looks like, then you have to ask yourself, you have to test your decision again and say, okay, am I still in? Okay, or do I need to do some course correcting? Okay, because our mission is that people achieve their goals, and we want to support you in achieving what your goals are, you know, in your life. And what we don't want is, I mean, I get people all the time who will shoot me, you know, private Facebook messages and things, you know, I'm going to be, you know, this by then, you know, type of a thing. And I love to get those, but very honestly, some of the times that, you know, I go, not very realistic, you know, and so I'll, you know, kind of push back and I'll say, that's fantastic. Have you considered this? Have you considered this? Are you prepared to do this? To help them kind of nudge them a little bit more in the right direction to, you know, to get that. And I'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to Facebook message me, say, I'm in, I've made a decision, this is what my goals are. In fact, I challenge you to do that. You know, and if I don't hear from you immediately, that's okay. You know, I just assume it be a very thoughtful process. You know, not just because I throw a challenge down to you and say, shoot me a message. Don't come back and just say, I'm in, you know, kind of thing. No, be very, very thoughtful about that, because when all is said and done, this is your lives. This is what matters, and we want you to kind of line up your, you know, this should be a fun thing. This should be a great thing. Beachbody shouldn't be your life, but it should give you a life. Okay. And that's, you know, that's very, you know, that's very important. Now, having said that, I'm over all the sales, and I have Carl every day. You know, we talk and going, where are we, Jeff? You know, you would need to, you know, he doesn't do that every day. Carl. In fact, let me just speak to that a little bit. It's kind of interesting that last year we had an absolutely phenomenal year. We grew by 73%, which is just kind of crazy, you know, big. We ended up the year before we had $328 million. It just, you know, basically in North America, in United States, with I think we had $12 million, a small amount maybe we had more than that, I guess we ended the year in Canada. Last year we grew by about 70%, mostly again in the United States at $565 million plus. I honestly think, I'm not for sure, but that puts us probably at one of the largest network marketing companies just in the United States alone. Those are big numbers, right? So expectations are you're going to do great again. And so we have our goals, and we create our strategies around those things. And Carl's we have a Tuesday meeting called the two-man meeting. It's the Tuesday management meeting, where all the yuckity yucks get together, and we talk a little bit about what's happening, you know, in the last week and what's upcoming, and how we need to make sure the left hand knows what the right hand's doing, kind of a thing. And Carl will always start out with a few comments about what we're doing and where we're going. And he's made very, very clear. He said, look, and I tend to be a little kind of a paranoid guy. From the standpoint, you know, kind of a healthy paranoia where I'm looking at the numbers and looking where we are, and tend to be kind of a where we're not versus where we are. In fact, my wife would tell you, you know, I'm horrible at this, you know, because like she'll you guys will go, we hate you, Jeff, you know, you know, and that's not married to you, but like she'll decorate and do all these things, you know, and then I'm always coming in and I'll go, she goes, how does it look? And I'll go, oh, it looks great if we were to only just do this. You know, it would be so, and I've learned and learning in my old age to kind of go, it looks great, and then pause, you know, before I kind of go to the next piece. But I kind of tend to be that way, okay? And Doug will probably for sure testify to that, you know. But But Carl's been very, very clear as we grow these numbers. There's no one more focused, no one more driven than Carl is. But he's also been very clear to say, look, we're going to have all sorts of challenges. We've got all sorts of aggressive goals. But the one thing that we need to continue to focus on, no matter what, is that we are giving people, creating programs, creating opportunities, creating a culture that creates real results in their lives in a real way. Okay, real results in people's lives. And this may turn here and this may turn here, and we may not know the answer to all of these things as we're navigating this stuff. But if we continue to focus on creating a culture and creating a company that provides people with real results in their lives, we're going to be fine. Okay? And it's going to be sustainable. And we're going to get there the right way. And I think if you focus building a business, your business, on that as well, and as you talk to successful coaches, it's always interesting. They'll talk about turning points or aha moments in their coaching career. As we travel with the Elite 10 and get to do these fun trips and talk to them, there's always this moment where you'll say, what was the turning point? And it always comes back to this piece. It's when I stopped focusing as much on me and on my growth and on what I was doing, although they have to focus on that, but turn it on making sure they're creating results for other people, and taking care, of others. And there's this law of contribution and a law of returns that as you do that and authentically do that, it comes back, to you. Not always immediately, but it comes back. So I've kind of rambled here, on a lot of things, but as you consider where you are, so and I'll then open up for a few questions. So here you are, and let me just paint the picture of what's happening, okay? Because you may not know what's happening right now, okay? I'm serious, okay? So you've all worked really, really hard to earn to earn your way here altogether or partially, to have some of this paid for. You've come from literally all over the world, from Japan, from Canada, from all over the country, to be here, to create a moment, okay? To create a learning moment, okay? And to make something happen while you're here. It's not just a reward. To me, it's this opportunity that you can make this a time in your life, the tipping point, where you can look back at whatever today is, the 23rd and the 24th and the 25th of January 2015, and can look at this time and said, that's when I really started my coaching career. That's when I made a decision and created a moment to change my life and our lives, okay? And whatever that might look like. And so my challenge to you would be is in all of the fun, in all of the relationship building, and all of the learning, that you also step back and consider where you are and what you want and who you want to become, because of this. And I hope, I hope that your journey continues to journey with us as a company. Because I look at us and I go, we're growing, and we're doing some phenomenal things. And I look at us and I go, and we're just kind of good right now. We're just kind of good. We're just kind of figuring this out. And I just look at the opportunity that we have to grow and to learn and to expand. People always ask about going international. I go, Fumion International right now, okay? The biggest opportunity is in our backyard, is your next door neighbor, is the person you haven't talked to yet, the person that wants results in their life. I mean, very few of you speak Chinese or French or German or or Burundian but what I'm saying is that where that's going to be your sweet spot. Your sweet spot is in your backyard. And I look at that for us and I go, there's such opportunity in our own backyard, in our front yard, to the side of us, that we have the opportunity to draw and to drive to create this phenomenal business, you know, that will change lives. And so take advantage of this moment while you're here together. I'll just say, you know, from a Jeff Hill perspective, and I think I speak for a lot of people, we are grateful for what you do. We really are, you know, and because and here's kind of the gratitude piece is this: we do have this mission of helping people change their lives, of get fit, of ending the trend of obesity, and it's a cool thing that we've got people that align with our culture. I'm supposed to be on the phone this morning, and I'm still going to get on the phone, I guess, with this fellow who, and I'm not looking forward to the call, okay, with a guy that was a network kind of MLM type of guy. And someone asked me to talk to him, and I'm going, oh yeah, I'd be happy to talk to him. And it was kind of a favor to this other person. And then as I started to look into who the person a little bit, did some Facebook search, I said, so who is this guy? You know, type of thing. I started to see that it's this MLM. I've got thousands of people. I'm going to bring them over. We're going to get rich quick. We're going to do this and we're going to do this. And I'm just going, I don't want to talk to this guy. You know, I don't have anything in common with him, because his culture would not work with our culture. You know, they just kind of want to help people. Yeah, you want to make money and you want to do those things, but you want to help people. And we have a culture of people that are, I think, driven for the right reasons, and we're just doing good stuff. You know, so anyway, I just want to thank you for what you do and for your hopes and your dreams. And if we as a team, we've got this phenomenal team of people that want to support you. If we can do that, you let us know how we can, and we will help you. One last thing, then I'll shut up. And other than questions is so you've got leaders in Emma and Chelsea and other leaders who have you know, kind of lead the charge. Okay, what their role is, okay, as a leader, is to develop other leaders. Okay, but what you guys have to do is, I talked about jumping and building your wings on the way up. You guys also need to be willing to jump. Okay, your growth isn't going to come, okay, being under their wings all the time. Okay, you can learn, you can grow, okay, but you've got to be willing to get away from the mother hand, okay, a little bit, and stretch and push and learn, because that's where the growth is going to come from for you. And when you do that, you know this, you're going to be surprised at how good you really are and how much you can really accomplish, because each one of you has these, I'm going to just call them out the way I see it. Each one of you has these God-given gifts, skill sets, abilities, this DNA inside of you that's specific and peculiar and unique to each one of you, that you won't realize and tap into fully until you do cut some of those strings and push yourselves. But I promise you, you'll find those pieces, and those will be the pieces that will let you blossom and grow and become this unique leader. But you've got to be willing to go. So if you see Emma and these guys, you know, Chelsea, they're kind of saying, time to stretch. I need someone to step up. You know, it's not like they're going to say throw you out of the nest, but sometimes it may be stepping up, leading a Team Cup team, okay, leading an Emerald to Diamond group, leading a Coach Basics group, you know, leading a conference call, doing an opportunity presentation, sharing a best practice, commenting, those little things. Those are all the little things, are the big things. Those are the things where you're going to grow. Those are the things where your unique talents are going to come out. And all I'm telling you guys is what you know, but you got to do it. So anyway, questions. Any questions before you guys take?